Hi friends, my name is Jake. Welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're taking a look at this knife. This is the Ruike P875-SZ, and they've put some brand new technology in this knife. When you get it shipped to the United States, it becomes the P875-SZ, and so you're gonna have to pay a little bit extra for that, but I think it's worth it. The sorry. This knife does have a more expensive sibling. This is 420 stainless steel handle and Sandvik 14C28N blade. And they've got one with a TC4 titanium alloy handle and N690 for the blade. This guy comes in at a little bit more than most of the knives that I review. And if I pay attention, I won't miss with my finger there. This knife comes into around 66 US dollars. It's around 88.95 Canadian. If you spend $100 or $99.99 at rakeknives.ca, they do free shipping to Canada. I'm not sure if they do free shipping to the United States. I forget. I asked this before and I forgot what the answer was. But, you know, reasonable price shipping. And this is a good full-size frame lock folder. Basically an all-metal kind of folder with, you know, a little bit of carbon fiber here and a little bit of material here, probably a G10 for the backspacer. If you're looking for a knife with a twist of modern and classic together, this just might be it. We've got a blade that's great for piercing, great for slicing, cutting, a lot of different tasks, very comfortable in a number of different grips, and functional. It's a definite EDC knife. The video might have the main section might be quieter than the rest of the video. I've recorded sections of this video 7 times already, and I just am going to use what I've got. When I do the section of the insides of the knife when it's taken apart, that section might again be a little bit louder, but for the most of the video after this intro, the volume's a little bit low. Hopefully you can adjust to compensate for it. So let's take a good look at this knife. The review's coming to you right now. Okay, so here it is. One of the first things we do is a size comparison, and we compare it to the Ontario Rat one. There we go. As you can see, they're very close to the same size. This is smaller in every dimension. It's a tiny bit shorter, it's smaller this way, and it's thinner as well. But overall, it's still a full-size folder. I've got hands that are between large and extra large, and there's a bunch of the knife still sticking out of my hand when I'm holding it. All kinds of different grips work very well. You know, this forward pinch grip for doing something more delicate or like that. You know, those are common grips for doing light stuff. Your regular saber grip, a fist grip like that, you can see the handle sticking out on the end right there. So you can grip the knife just about any which way you want and still have quite a bit of comfort. And that's a large part because of the texture over here from this honeysuckle kind of, that's an etching, the way they did that. That's actually raised and the background is down a little bit. Carbon fiber right there, just a little piece. And so they've got old style mixed with new style, and I think they've done a very good job with the look of it. I really like the look of this knife. I wasn't going to get one because I thought it was just a little bit out of the price range that I wanted to go for as budget knives for 2020. This thing, the US prices is about 66 US dollars for this knife. And I was saying that for 2020, my budget number is $60 or less. But I did say I'm going to have a number of exceptions. This one's got even a pricier brother, as I said in the intro. I think I did. Titanium and N690. This is Sandvik 14C28N and 420 stainless steel and carbon fiber. It's a good frame lock. We've got a blade that's got a drop point kind of style with this odd swedge right here. It makes the blade look thinner and then thicken and thinner, so it's like forward weighted, but it's not really that way. Nice drop point. It's got a very fine bead blast. So you can see if the light is just the right way on it, that there are lines going down this way from the grind. So it's a light bead blast. And it's got a nice cutting edge, nice belly. Straight section here is nice. And then we've got a sharpener's choil that's done very, very well. I like that choil, just the right size. Maybe a little bit bigger than it really needs to be, but I prefer that instead of smaller. And then you've got the flipper here. There's no jimping on the flipper anywhere. The basic flipper. And then when you look at the handle, it's just a frame lock made of stainless steel with these hollow screws here, the body screws and the pivot screw. They take a 3mm Allen key to open this up. And one of the things about it is those are free spinning. So when you're trying to undo one side, the other side's probably going to spin along with it. So you really need 2 Allen keys, one from each side. So it's best if you've got something that you can clamp this into. Of course, something with soft jaws that you clamp this into and take it apart. It was pretty simple to put back together without using 2 screws. Just a little bit of finger pressure on one side, and then when it started to grip, it started to grip, and then it didn't keep spinning. Just when you were taking it off. The handle, the working side on the handle's got the pocket clip, a good pocket clip, no bigger than it needs to be. It can't go any smaller and still be super functional, is what I mean. So they made it nice and small that way. The distance away from the side is just enough that a regular pair of jeans has no problem getting all the way in there. And then you've got this. This is called their Beta Plus lock. This is an extra lock that you only use when the blade is deployed. And what it's for is when you push it forward, it makes it so that you cannot unlock the frame lock. And so the blade cannot close when that's on there. So not only do you have this lock here, you've got this lock backing this lock up. So some people think it's way overkill. I'm in that party generally. Don't find it necessary, but it's not in my way, so I really don't mind if it's there. It could be helpful for some people, and maybe even some scenarios I might use it. I haven't really yet, except for maybe once or twice. And I carry a knife every day, so and I've got a lot of these knives with these beta locks. Lockup is exactly where I want. Well, maybe a tiny bit further in than I really want it to be on a brand new knife, but not off by much at all. So it's a very good lockup. Solid, no blade play, side to side, up and down. When the knife is closed, the alignment is very, very close to perfect. Might be a little bit closer to this side than it is to the far side there. Not a problem. So all of those things have been made very well. The detent is excellent. It just sucks it in that last little bit, holds it very well. It's a perfect detent for this flipper to have great action. The backspacer is made to very high tolerances. It fits in there perfectly, nothing extra sticking out. But as you see, there's no lanyard hole. You might be able to fit 5-strand paracord through that hole. I know you can fit 3-strand paracord. I tried it. I don't have any 5-strand left to test it with. And by the way, 7-strand is the general, most common kind of paracord, or 550 paracord. That's the 7-strand. And so this side of the knife is also bead blasted. This side looks like it's been very lightly bead blasted as well. And then you've got this honeysuckle in there. And that looks so nice. I really like the look of it. At first, I thought it was a little bit cheesy, maybe. A little bit kind of, since it wasn't authentic, it's not with a guy and a knife and he's taking steel away and he's cutting in those lines. It's not high craftsmanship. And once you don't expect it to be high craftsmanship of the old style, then the way they did the etching, that's actually done quite well. I like the job that they did. And then putting in that carbon fiber there as well helps the look quite a lot. The strength of the action I've already shown you, very good. If you use the light switch method, pull back and it just comes flying out. If you just push back on a slight angle going down around a 45-degree angle, like push button, it works that way as well. So they've done a really good job with that. Let's take a look at what the knife is like inside. So here's the knife obviously taken apart. You can see that the stop pin is in the blade. So I suspect they drilled a hole and put that in there with some kind of adhesive. It would just be a waste of money to use steel that's that thick, then mill all this away. And don't know what that little hole's for. It's kind of curious. But there's the hole there for the right there for the detent. Detent is steel. Ball bearings are steel. And in that close-up picture of the ball bearings, you saw the lubricant that they have on there. It's a thicker kind of white grease. And there's the screws that are used to hold it together. You can see lots of weight reduction in here. And there's that lock system, the back of it, the way it works. That little spring is just creating the pressure for it. What they've done here is they've peened little holes in here to help hold this spring in place. Unlike what I've seen on some knives, where this is just loose. So that's a good change, even though I don't use that system. This is a good all-metal, basically, frame lock, in my opinion. Let's talk about all the dimensions, the sizes, specs, that kind of stuff. First, the Sandvik 14C28N stainless steel blade. That's got a Rockwell hardness of around 59 usually, so that's a very good, nice knife. That's the steel for the blade. The weight of the knife, 141 grams, 4.95 ounces, so just under 5 ounces, not bad. The sharpness of the edge from the factory is 130, and that's very good. The length, the cutting edge length and the blade length are the same, 8.96 centimeters, 3.53 inches. The blade thickness at the thickest spot back here is 3.46 millimeters, which is 0.136 of an inch. So that's quite good. The blade depth, 1 inch up from the sharpener's choil. The blade depth is this way, 2.6 centimeters, 1.02 inches. The thickness of the steel right behind that final grind down there by my thumbnail, 0.5 millimeters, which is 19.5 thousandths of an inch. Perfect. That's exactly the thickness I want at the cutting edge of this kind of steel. The grind angle, well, this side is 14.5 degrees and this side is 23.4 degrees. So 8.9 degrees difference, basically 9 degrees difference between the two. That's not very good, but it's very common. I've got a list. If you look down below the video, I've got a list of how well and what angle knives have been sharpened to. I've got like 140 knives on that list right now, the last ones that I've reviewed, and I put down exactly what angle the factory sharpened that knife to, and you can see that pretty much every knife is that way. Handle length, 11.92 centimeters, 4.695 of an inch. The grip area, that's more of a rough rounded number, 10 centimeters, about 4 inches. The handle thickness, not counting the pocket clip, not counting this Beta Plus thing either, it is 1.16 centimeters, 0.456 of an inch, so I like how thin it is. The handle depth, this dimension, 4.2 centimeters, 0.943 of an inch. And when you close the knife, the largest dimension here, not counting the flipper tab, 2.87 centimeters, 1.13 inches. And the total length of the knife when the blade's deployed is 20.8 centimeters, 8.19 inches. So that's a good size knife for its weight. Its specs are very good. The balance point, and I'll balance it on this side so that you know I'm not trying to rely on, I'm not trying to rely on that thing to make the balance point. So the weight is back here, so it makes it a very light knife, easy to maneuver and use, you know, if you're in a rush and you need to use your knife very quickly and precisely. Yeah, this knife is weighted quite well for that. One odd thing is it's almost 2 fingers worth of a space here for your this finger choil. The lock release is really nice. It's got a chamfer right there. So you got a big space to get at that to undo the knife. But when you're holding the knife, my index finger comes right on that bump right there. I'm not terribly fond of that, but it doesn't really bother me much either because it's well rounded. There's no sharp edges there. Then further back on the handle, we've got another odd thing. I need to turn up the lights here a little bit. Didn't have it quite bright enough. That's better. So you can see that section there, and it works really good. My pinky wants to stay in there. And if I do a reverse grip, my index finger wants to stay in there. It just feels right. So it's a small touch, very good thing. And no, this knife does not have a designer. It's in-house by Ruike Knives Design. So good job, whoever the design team is that made this thing. What's the price of this knife? Well, like I said, in Canada, $88.95 Canadian, and that's roughly $66 US. Its higher end brother, the titanium and N690 steel, $169.95 at ruikeknives.ca. That's about $126.50 US. So I suspect not too many of my viewers will be wanting the higher end version, which is also why I reviewed the lower end version. I really, really like Ruike knives a lot, and I buy them all from ruikeknives.ca. That's really good for us Canadians. We can get a flipper knife without having to worry about it being taken by customs because it's already in Canada. And Americans, you can get it without having to spend an arm and a leg as well. And by the way, they do free shipping within Canada when you spend $99.99 with them or more. So basically, you spend $100 at ruikeknives.ca. In Canada, you're going to get free shipping. So those, and they got good prices to start with. Most of their knives are less than this one, but they've got some knives now that are a little bit more as well. I like the design on this. Everything's functional. I wish there was a right and left pocket clip. And the other thing I wish for is that, what was the other thing I wished for? Ah, yes, the screws, that they would not be free spinning. So there's no reason that they couldn't have got screws here that don't spin freely. You know, I've just reviewed another knife really recently that's got holes through the screws like this too, and it's not free spinning. So there's no reason that it shouldn't be. And at this price point, and especially at the older siblings price point, it's something that just shouldn't happen. But the other things are good. You know, steel ball bearings are good. Steel detent is good. It feels good. The tolerances of everything is quite nice. It's got a decent weight. It's got a sort of classic modern look to it that I really, really like, and it works. It's a functional knife. And I like the mix of everything that's in here. If you're looking for a knife in this price range, check out the Ruike P875-SZ. So thanks for watching my video. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for commenting down below. Any kind of comment is appreciated. And remember, friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.